What's going on, everybody? I'm Giant Opinion Sports, and today I'm doing my second 7-round mock draft. When I did my first mock, the Giants had pretty much no coaching staff in here at all. Now with Wink Martindale in place, I think I can do a little bit more realistic. We're going to find some downhill attacking players. I do try and keep these as realistic as possible, so sometimes there'll be a player on the board on the simulator that I use that I won't choose because there's just no way that player is going to be there in real life. But today, I kind of got lucky. I wanted to pick this guy just to switch it up. I took Kayvon Thibodeau with the number 5 pick. Evan Neal was there on the board as well. I'm not sure if either one of these guys will be there in real life. The simulator started out a little bit wacky, you could say. But Kayvon at 5 is my dream scenario. The guy's just electric. And the Giants haven't had an edge rusher like him since Lawrence Taylor. I'm not saying he's Lawrence Taylor, but I'm just saying athletically wise. His combination of speed and power is rare. Kayvon is a relentless pass rusher. His initial burst will terrify NFL tackles. Combine that with unreal strength, great punch, great hand fighting, and he basically gets any of the angles he wants on pass rushing. And his speed rushes might be the best part of his game. He gets upfield in a flash, and he can just bend with the best of them. You know, this dude can grease the corner, and his balance that he shows on tape is out of this world. An underrated part of Kayvon's game is his intelligence. He regularly sets up tackles throughout the game. He always has a plan. Defensive ends like Kayvon are just 2 steps ahead of everyone, and you're probably going to get the opposite of what you think is coming. You know, I love the player, and if Kayvon Thibodeau is available at 5, you run to the podium. You just take him. He's a difference maker. So after I chose Kayvon, Carolina took Evan Neal, so I had the choice of Charles Cross or Akeem Ekwonu at 7. You know, I wasn't coming out of the first round without a tackle. Charles Cross would probably be the better tackle year 1, but I chose Akeem Ekwonu because he has that high ceiling, and he's a bad motherfucker. Akeem is a finisher, and in the run game, he's going to lay the wood. You know, this is a guy with a killer mentality, high effort. He's going to set the tone on an offensive line. He's going to look for the death blow. You know, I think a player like Ekwonu will be a shock to a team's culture. Get behind him or get out of the way. Now, there is stuff he needs to work on. Ekwonu will need to especially work on his pass sets, but all the tools are there to develop into a very good pass protector. He's got violent hands, strength like an ox. He has plenty of athleticism. He needs to trust his athleticism more. His big problem he's had is oversetting. You know, if you trust your athleticism, you know, that's not going to happen. So it's all uphill when all them things come together for him. Akeem Ekwonu to the Giants, though, would be a great pick. Not only is he physically imposing, but he's a great kid off the field. And I think with him here, the days of Giants not being able to run the ball would be gone pretty much instantly. Alright, so with the number 36 pick, I chose Darion Kendrick, cornerback out of Georgia. You know, with Bradbury most likely gone to a trade or cap casualty, there's a big void in the Giants secondary. Darren Kendrick is a well-rounded cornerback with great length. I think day 1, he can hold his own in any type of coverage, man or zone. He might be a little bit better at zone right now, but I think that could change. You know, he's got a lot of developing left to do, but I see the big picture with him. Like, I want to see him be a press man coverage corner. He's got the length to do it. You know, he mirrors routes already pretty well. Development will take time. I know that. I expect hiccups year 1 and possibly even year 2. But this guy just has all the physical tools. Not elite athleticism, but pretty good. You can almost say great. Very fluid. That's the best thing about him. I mean, he has no problem flipping his hips and changing direction. I absolutely love his ball skills. Like, he is great at tracking the ball through the air. You know, he has very good hands. He jumps up, contests everything. His tackling won't be a huge issue. That's always something to bring up for cornerbacks. It's going to be about the coaching with him, I think, and just learning the game. You know, I believe he can develop into a solid NFL cornerback. If you're a Giants fan, think Corey Webster. I think that's what you can get him to. Maybe a little bit more of a press man, physical kind of corner. He could have trouble in off-man coverage to start his career, but when he perfects the press off the line, I mean, I just think, again, I think he's going to be special. Now, with the 67th pick, I chose Chris Paul, guard from Tulsa. Chris Paul has experience at both tackle and guard, and I know the name. Jeez. The highlights you're watching, I believe he's lined up at left tackle. That's who you want to focus on. Me personally, I want Paul here to slide into guard. He's an all-around solid prospect. I think I view him a bit like Zion Johnson. You know, he doesn't have elite athleticism in any one area, but all around he's really good. And the one thing I love is his power. This is a powerful, kid with great size. You combine that with his nasty disposition, and I think he'd just be great to line up next to Ekwonu. Paul has great power and has punched to stun defensive tackles right off the line. This dude plays low. He has just a great core, nice bend in his knees, all that kind of stuff. He plays low and he uses that leverage properly in the run game. Pure and simple, he's going to give you push off the line. He's very effective on trap plays also. I saw that on tape. I love his footwork as well. He's a little heavy-footed, but he just uses his feet good. I see him being a decent guard to start his career. There is stuff to work on. He needs some developing. He really needs to work on improving his blocking on the second level, just finding more work, finishing more. I also mentioned he doesn't have the most athleticism. To start, faster players might give him some trouble on his pass sets. So better footwork will be needed in his pass sets, and just play a little bit lower. And I think that part will come because he plays nice and low on the run plays. But now he just needs to get more of that in his pass sets. And if he develops properly, I could see Chris Paul as a high-end starting guard. Maybe not an all-pro or Pro Bowler even, but pretty dang decent. Now, the 80th pick, I chose for Darien Masses, defensive tackle out of Alabama. And guess who this guy's a clone of? Yes, Dalvin Tomlinson. All over again. And that void is still there on this roster. Maybe the Giants sign somebody on the market. Maybe they bring back Austin Johnson. But at this moment, it's a need. And I met value at 80, and I had to grab him. It's a need. Fedarian is a big, imposing run stuffer. And he would be great plug up the middle for the Giants. You don't see this guy getting moved backwards a whole lot. You see once in a great while. He has very violent hands. Can give you a bit of value with some pass rushing at moments as well. I view him as a day one starter on early downs. He's probably going to have to do some work in his pass rushing before he can get on the field in third downs. At Alabama, he really specialized against zone blocking schemes, which, listen, more and more of these teams are running nowadays. So he's going to always keep his feet moving. That's good to see. He moves good laterally. I think he's a two-gap defensive tackle. I love his effort. His hands are advanced past where they should be for a player, so young. It's just all these things get me excited. Just see how can he develop especially in the pass rushing department. How good can he be? He doesn't have that elite athleticism, but you do see great explosiveness. Alabama did use him in stunts and twists too, and he was very effective in that. So that's nice to see. And honestly, I could see him playing anywhere in the interior D-line. I just want more consistency on that, more of them high-end plays that I see with him. I need him to play with better pad level at times as well. I see him play a bit high once in a while. The rest of the things he needs to improve on is all just mental stuff, which normally comes with time with these players. On the pick 109, and I chose Leo Chanel, middle linebacker out of Wisconsin. I made this pick with Wink Martindale specifically in mind. Wink wants guys that can blitz up the middle, make open field tackles, and that's what Leo Chanel does. This dude is nasty. Listen, he is an enforcer. He's a weapon at the middle linebacker position. He's also one of the heaviest hitters in this year's draft. Just a downhill player. He is always in attack mode. I think Chanel was sculpted to be in Wink's defense. Now, early in his career, he will probably be a two-down linebacker, but I do think day one he could be a productive player in the NFL. He's going to be a tackling and sack machine, in my opinion. I like his instincts, his football IQ. He consistently makes the right reads, but what ultimately made me choose him is just the power and explosiveness I see. This dude's going to cripple people. I love players like Leo Chanel. They're going to give you every ounce, of effort they have. Just awesome. And with the 145th pick, I chose Isaiah Likely, tight end. I'm more of an all-around tight end guy, but a player with Likely's talent drops down this far, this low. You gotta grab him. I'd call him at the moment a tweener, somewhere between a tight end wide receiver, but it's impossible to not see the talent he has. He'll be a valuable weapon catching passes down the field. He has great athleticism. He is sneaky fast, and I think he can be a serious weapon on vertical passes, something Daniel Jones has thrived at. Just give him another weapon in that department. But this dude won't have a problem getting open in NFL. He has great change of direction ability, mostly because of his quick feet. Combine that with his big, strong body, and that's trouble for corners or linebackers. Don't matter. And I loved the contested catches that I saw on tape. This kid has some strong-ass hands, and that will help him in the run game as well. At the moment, he isn't great in the run game, but he has shown steady improvement every season. And here's the thing I like the most. He doesn't drop the ball. The kid catches everything. Thank God. No more Ingram. But I do like Likely's talent. I love that you can spread him out wide. You can use him in the slot. Some people harp on that he played on a small school. I don't really care about that. Maybe it takes a few games, half a year to just get used to NFL speed. But I just think he's a nice player, nice tight end to come in and develop. I was surprised he dropped this low. With pick 170, I chose Reid Blankenship. He's a safety that played at Middle Tennessee, another small school kid. And Blankenship was another guy I chose with Wink in mind. He's big and strong for a safety. He was a field general for Middle Tennessee. I love his instincts. They've served him well so far. He's played all over the field. I'd like the Giants to drill him down in just mainly one role, but I would get it if they wanted to just move him around and use him in different ways. I'd get it. My favorite part of his game, though, is just his downhill attacking. I think Reid would be a great replacement for Logan Ryan. With Logan being here next year, it gives Reid maybe the time to sit back and develop a little bit. But I also could see him, Jabril Peppers ain't back, stepping in and filling in for him a little bit. Just love the guy's tackling ability. And listen, this guy can get to the quarterback as well. He is great on blitzes. I view him right now as just an all-around safety. You want to use him in the box and attacking the quarterback? Fine, cool. You want to use him as maybe in a robber role like Logan Ryan or deep quarter safety like Xavier McKinney? Yeah, cool. He can do it all. So I'm very interested in how he will develop, how the Giants will use him if he's the pick. And I think it's, again, pretty good value for where I got him. All right, last pick number 182, I chose Alec Lindstrom, center from Boston College. I was honestly shocked to see Lindstrom on the board at this point, but I didn't argue with it. I just snatched him up. Now, I don't think he'll be a year one starter. I like the idea of sitting him down, letting him develop, but I will say I do already like some traits. Like, he has great footwork, and it really showed on stunts and twists. His feet are good in the run game as well. He's great at just driving his feet. I love his hand play. He has good placement, good technique. The problem with Lindstrom is he's always going to run into this, and that's his strength. He's way too light. He really needs to prove his overall power throughout his entire body, and it's really just that simple. Just needs to bulk up. All the technique stuff is there, so bring him in, hand him to the strength and conditioning coach. If he can build his body properly, I could see him being a very effective center, second or third season. That's my mock draft, though. I got an elite edge, I got an elite tackle, and I feel there's some important positions of need right now. Maybe some of them get filled in free agency, so I don't have to kind of hammer more towards needs. That's probably what's going to happen, but I just wanted to listen, these are really fun. I just wanted to get another mock draft out there. If you hear some rattling in the background, I'm sorry about that. It's super windy here, and everything's just rattling through my house. But these are fun. After free agency, I'll have another one of these, and maybe we can narrow it down just a little bit more again. Would appreciate everybody that watched. Hit that like button. That's a motivator for me. Keeps me going. Listen, you guys have been awesome. I've had nice growth on the channel. Appreciate that. Subscribe if you're new. I got more draft profiles that I do. I'll have some of them out here in the next couple days. But that's it for me. Like, subscribe, and peace.